good afternoon. Welcome to Growing for Good with Funding for Good. I am Mandy, and we are here at my home offices today at the beginning of January on a very cold Friday afternoon. So I am going to be answering some questions. We did a webinar last week for a stocking stuffer edition of the Writer's Block program that we have, and we fielded questions from people all over the country that they had about grant writing. And we answered about 20 of them online and ran out of time, so I promised everyone that we would be answering them on our blogs and our vlogs and on some upcoming Facebook posts. So today I'm going to take one directly from the list that I have, and I'm going to answer it. And if you guys want to keep following us, we're just going to answer a bunch of these over the next week or two and try to get everybody caught up. And we're probably going to do another one of those open sessions for grant questions maybe at the end of February or the beginning of March. So be looking on our Facebook page. If you haven't followed us there yet, you might want to, because that's where that post will come out. And if you have questions you want to ask and join us on that free webinar, then we would be happy to field questions from folks then. This is the exact question that came in, and this is from a girl that I know in South Carolina, but she says, do you have any tips on balancing professional development effectively, knowing that we're all busy? I don't mean just finding the time to attend a webinar, but finding ways to reflect on what we've learned and build ways to use some of those new tools or resources as part of our strategies. And I'll tell you a couple of things. One, whenever I have to sit down and do something or learn something new, I have to schedule time to give myself to do it, because as most of you probably experience, I get phone calls a lot, people email me and I feel like I need to respond pretty quickly, or I have meetings that break up the middle of my day, or I'm attending a webinar. So sometimes I have to sit down and say, this week on Thursday, or every Thursday for the next month, whatever I look at my schedule and find that I have time to do, I'll say I'm going to block this period of time. And that time I don't turn my phone on, so I have it on silent and probably in another room. I don't check my emails. I don't set appointments. I don't take appointments. And I really have that time to myself to learn a new skill. Maybe I'm reading a couple of blogs. Maybe I've signed up for an online program and I just haven't had time to sit down and watch the webinars yet. I haven't had time to sit down and figure out, how am I going to implement this in what I do, and how can I make it work for my programming, my strategies for my business for the year. And I did the same things when I was working for other people in the development world. So I would encourage you to sit down and schedule time for yourself to actually sit down and absorb some information. You could sit down and just watch a bunch of webinars, but if you don't have a little bit of additional time to process, how can I use this? Is all of it usable? If not, which pieces of it are usable? And sort of create yourself a list of actionable items. And a friend of mine named Jennifer Jones says, I like to take away, I can do it today nuggets. So things she can take away and really put into effect right away, either with her donors or with her fundraising plan or with her grant strategies, whatever those things are. And then make another list of things that you can't use, things that maybe don't pertain to your organization. Let's say there's a section about endowment planning and you're not doing endowments yet, or you don't have one, or it's not something you're probably ever going to do. Those things probably aren't going to be relevant to you. And then another section that says things you can do and potentially schedule a time to revisit them. So maybe they're things that would take a meeting or additional money in your budget that you would have to get approved, or a group effort, and you know you can't implement them right now, but you'd like to. So write them down, write what they are, and then beside them, what the next step is to make it happen. Maybe it's have a meeting with your supervisor, or have a meeting with community partners to gauge interest, whatever those things might be. So that's what I do personally, and I hope that that helps give you some idea. There's no magic answer. There's not additional hours in a day that I know how to make happen, because if I could, I would. And so you just have to value your own development and know that you have to schedule that in, even if it's outside the office. And sometimes that is what has to happen. Folks that are in a shared space, or folks that are in an office with open rooms, sometimes you need to schedule time away from the office and get approval for that, to know that you're working on your development and you're not going to be distracted. I hope that was helpful. Check back with us soon. We're going to have another video coming up. If you haven't liked us on YouTube yet, go ahead and follow the page so you'll be notified when information comes up available, and you'll be the first to see those videos. And let us know if you have any questions. Thanks so much.